Welcome back to the Advent Calendar House, the official holiday podcast of Moody's Store for Men in the Bayside Mall. Today we're talking about a pair of episodes of Saved by the Bell, the two-part Christmas special from 1991, Home for Christmas. I am the world's most patient homeless gentleman, Mike Westfall, and joining me is the time-altering preppy to my geeky sidekick, Chad Young. Hey, Chad.
Time out! Because I have a very, very, very important announcement, Mike. Okay, time in. Mike, tonight's episode is going to be a real amazing discussion because this is one of the most Saved by the Bell episodes of Saved by the Bell.
Oh, yeah.
But, we were supposed to do this with our good friend, dear friend, William Bruce West.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he couldn't make it. We wish you well, William. Although by the time this airs, I'm sure he'll be feeling better.
Man, I hope so.
But Mike, I hope so too. The internet needs William Bruce West, so
Indeed.
Power through it. But Mike,
yeah,
I brought. You know what? You know who I brought? I brought the AC Slater to my Zach Morris.
There you go.
May I introduce him?
Do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, making his Advent Calendar debut. It is my co-host of the TPIF podcast. He was one of the best men in my wedding. He is the convention superstar that you've heard so many people talk about at Monster Mania and Chiller Theater and pretty much any other convention that has Indiana Jones guests on the lineup. I must be talking about the man himself, TC Tommy Coombs.
Hello. And Chad, I want to thank you for comparing me to Slater as opposed to Screech. I really appreciate
Nobody
that.
wants to be Screech.
I'm the Screech of this trio because you're both taller than I am.
But you're cooler than us
that's
also.
true. Fair enough.
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
you are. You actually update your podcast.
Yeah.
By the way, we were trying to get our third host of TPIF, Derek. Unfortunately, he can't make it. But sends his love.
All right. Right back
He'd
at
be
you.
the
All right,
who's the guy from the Max? What's his name again?
Jeff?
The magician.
Max.
Oh, Max.
Yeah, that's who he'd be.
That's literally his name. Is Max.
Doing table magic.
What?
The Saved by the Bell Max
sitting
is
there-
the one with one X. The big purple dude is the
Yes.
one with two X's.
Yes. Oh, Tommy.
Yeah,
Hold on. You're telling me you didn't know that his name was Max?
I forgot what his name was.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm nervous. I'm just excited to be.
Okay.
All right.
Yay!
So, Home for Christmas, or depending on what wiki you're looking at, A Home for Christmas. But
Ugh.
both the NBC app and Wikipedia both leave off the article. Chad, this was another one you requested to make up for Jingle Bell Rap.
I'm sorry.
Hey, man, I had fun on that one.
I did too. It was a lot of.
Yeah. And as mentioned, this was a two-part episode, but not the kind they do now where they air them back-to-back. These made up 2 Saturday mornings in December 1991. Episodes 24 and 25 near but not at the tail end of Season 3. Do you guys remember if you watched these? Like, you sat down on Saturday morning and actually watched these when they first aired?
No, I know for a fact I did not. For me, Saturday mornings was for cartoons only. I was pretty much always on ABC.
Okay.
Oh, Tommy. Unless it was a Friday night, then he was also on ABC, which is discussed on the TPIF podcast.
Well,
I've got to be honest. I probably had seen the episodes in the original airing, but I mean, I've seen so many. I've watched Saved by the Bell like hundreds of times over the years, so it's kind of like, I don't remember I don't remember sitting down and watching it, but I'm almost certain I did.
okay. I know I absolutely did. So to give you an idea about where this falls on the Saved by the Bell in-universe timeline, it's Season 3, so they're juniors in high school? Question mark?
Yeah.
This is the season that went everywhere, so we've already been to Malibu Sands. Already been to Palm Springs for Jesse's dad's wedding. And 2 episodes before this, we witnessed the rise and fall of Zack Attack. And then after these 2 Christmas episodes came the season finale, another favorite of mine, Mystery Weekend, where they play the murder mystery game at some mansion.
Yeah.
But notably, what, you don't like that one?
I gotta be honest, I am such a picky Saved by the Bell fan that anything that doesn't like those episodes and the mall episode, those should really be my favorites because they are really up there in terms of just cheesy Saved by the Bell episodes. But gosh, the murder mystery one and the Palm Springs and the Malibu Sands are just, you line those up and that's an easy way for me to just start getting angry.
Oh, dear.
And Tori. Oh gosh, don't even get me started on Tori.
Oh, Tori.
Oh my. She was actually, did you guys see this? She was upset that they didn't ask her to join the reunion.
I would be too.
And I was like, she served no purpose. She did absolutely nothing. That would be like bringing, who was the guy on, that broke up? He kissed Kelly in the Max, and then he was on Melrose Place, wasn't he? Oh, I can't remember.
You talking about Jeff?
Yes.
Her boss?
Yes.
Yeah.
Her boss.
That was the beginning of this season, so they had broken. Yep. We'll talk about that later, whatever. Notably absent in both of these episodes, no Belding.
Really?
Yep.
Which may have some people wondering, hey, what is going on here? Well, it's winter break. They're not going to run into their principal.
Yes.
But also, because the episode pretty much took place at the mall.
Yeah.
Plus, do you guys find that I remember Jeff's name, but not Max's?
I find that very bizarre. Do you care to tell us why?
I have no idea.
Oh, dear.
Chad, it's me.
Yeah, you're right. I know.
Well, as mentioned, it's winter break, which is Zach's cue to set the stage by announcing he got what he wanted for Christmas, 2 weeks off from school. And we're off to the races. We opened at the Morris residence, where Zach's stocking is hung by the chimney with care, and our heroes gather around a plate of freshly baked gingerbread women. Courtesy of Zach and his mother, played by Melody Rogers. This is Mrs. Morris's second appearance after that Fake IDs episode, a very special episode.
Great episode, by the way.
And then we don't see her again until he gets married.
Really?
Yes.
You know, if you think about it, and we could spend all day on the philosophies or the psychology of Saved by the Bell, it kind of makes sense. Zach gets away with so much, but his parents just aren't in his life. Although I get the sense his mom did more of the raising of Zach than his dad, but we still don't see her, which really bothers me because she is such a good, Zach foil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she really is in this.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, she's like not bothered by his ongoing pursuit of the ladies here. But
yeah.
I get, she lets him make gingerbread women, and of course, Slater calls them gingerbread chicks, and of course, Jesse calls him out on that.
Oh.
And in a minute and a half, we successfully summed up almost every main character of Saved by the Bell for anyone new who happens to be watching.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Screech says some Screech thing, and Lisa's rocking the most 1991 outfit.
Yes.
Slater's the runner-up with his maroon pants. Love those maroon
Oh, God, she loves those maroon pants.
But really, Kelly's really the only one who...
so bad.
Yeah. Really, Kelly's the only one who doesn't get to do anything particularly Kelly-ish yet, but we will get there.
No.
For now,
yep.
She's the first one who tells us her plan for break. She got a job at the aforementioned Moody's Store for Men at the mall.
Interesting.
Also working at the mall over break is Slater wrapping gifts, and like me, he is awful at wrapping gifts.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
I can relate so badly.
Your biceps can't have
the best part.
What? The best part?
The best part is The best part is just how nonchalant he is about just destroying other people's presents with his terrible wrapping. He doesn't even put them in a box. He just kind of just puts, wrapping paper all over it, and they just kind of fall. Like, what the hell, man? That's terrible.
That'll be $20.
Especially this first one. It's a box of champagne glasses, and Slater fails to wrap the bottom of the package, so they fall out, prompting the women who bought them to choke him out for his mistake. First off, that's how Daniel Bryan got fired. Secondly, Slater's coworker or boss or whatever, it's not clear which, just stands there and watches.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Zach to the rescue, convincing Slater to pay back the customer out of his own pocket if he ever wants to breathe again.
That's such a Zach thing to do. Hey, I could help you right now, but I'd rather you pay for this instead of me.
Well, Zach had nothing to do with it. He saved a life.
No.
And it's not the first life.
But you know what? What you're saying is it's going to foreshadow.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Mike, you're onto something.
Yes. Elsewhere at the mall, Jesse is taking photos of kids with Santa Claus, despite clearly having no time for children. Especially America's crabbiest 6-year-old boy who doesn't even have time for Santa.
Nope.
He's too cool for school.
Nope.
That boy is just, I don't want to smile. And it's not, okay, it's different. I've had my younger kids, when they were 2, not want anything to do with being on Santa's lap because it's a terrifying giant man in a beard. They don't know what to do with that. But when you're 6 or 7, like this kid is, who's like forming complete sentences and being a jerk to teenagers.
It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, they needed to pad the time.
Yeah, I get it.
Lisa's overworking at the hospital. We've seen her working there before. Her mom's a surgeon. So it's really only Zach and Screech who are jobless and free to wander among the rest of the gang, save for their participation in a mall production of A Christmas Carol directed by Zach's mom. But that's in part 2. It's here.
Yeah.
Where Zach bumps into and immediately wants everything to do with Laura, played by New Jersey's own Jennifer McComb.
Ooh.
She's still acting. She's still acting, but not very much. This role is what she's known for. But she was later a model in Zoolander, an excited woman in My Best Friend's Wedding, and appeared on an episode of Dawson's Creek, that last one significant, because Jennifer's younger sister, Heather McComb, is the now ex-wife of James Van Der Beek.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
All right, stop.
Yeah.
What you didn't mention is her younger sister. That's Heather McComb. She was the Jubilee in that Generation X movie that aired in 96.
Was she?
Yes, she was Jubilee.
Oh.
She was in something else recently, too. Oh, what was it?
They're both, like, every once in a while they'll get some part, and it's like, all of these other guest stars are kind of character actors, really. We don't see a lot of them, but they're getting work.
Yeah.
Well, Zach immediately wants to take Laura to lunch, but she brought her own lunch, which Zach questions as all she has is a single apple. More foreshadowing.
Yep.
Doesn't Zach make fun of her for just eating an apple also?
Yep.
Kind of. It's more like a
observation.
Like, that can't be all you're eating. No, come have lunch with me. It was just a way to move the conversation toward her going to lunch with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He made her feel bad about her lunch choices.
Yeah, well, in his quest to find the dream girl he's known for a whole 2 minutes, Zach ends up waiting in the men's room for Screech to dry himself off after an accident involving a doll that wets itself like I've never seen a doll nor an actual child wet
my
itself.
Gosh.
It was like a gallon of water with a wig on it.
Yeah, the water pouring out of this baby doll.
Oh my gosh.
But
I have never, in my toy collecting years, ever seen anything like that. I don't know. That must have been like, like a weird bootleg, like I don't know. That must have been like a dollar store or a bootleg kind of thing.
I guess so. And they make dolls like that wet themselves, but it's like drips. You fill it with water, and I don't know. I don't know how they work because my sister never wanted one.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, no. The weirdest one she had was Puppy Surprise, the dog that's pregnant.
Oh my gosh!
Oh.
I think Tommy still has one of those.
Yeah, and I haven't opened it up yet, so I don't know how many are in there.
It could be 3 or 4 or 5.
Tommy, you gotta let them out to breathe.
Oh,
They're still baking. They're still cooking.
30 years later? What kind of dog is that?
A plastic one. All right. Well, while Zach and Screech are in the bathroom trying to dry Screech's clothes, in walks a man searching the payphones for forgotten change. And okay, there's the obvious, hey, remember payphones talking point, but I don't remember payphones being inside mall bathrooms.
Yeah.
Just outside the bathrooms, maybe, but why would you put a payphone next to a loudly flushing toilet? Oh, yeah, I'm on the can of the mall.
You just hear someone take a giant dump, and all of a sudden, no, hold on, wait. Hey, guys, can you keep it down? I'm talking to someone. Hey, sorry, man, that Taco Bell in the food court is really arguing with me right now.
I've got to take this.
Yeah.
Done with a job interview. No, but our change seeker, who we learn via Zach explaining to a clueless Screech is homeless, is played by Stephen Mendel, another character actor who's probably best known for this because no one really watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, where he was the voice of Splinter.
Oh.
Was he?
Yes.
Did not know that.
Neither did I. I was looking down IMDb and I was, really?
Oh my gosh.
And as I said at the beginning of the show, this is the world's most patient homeless man.
Oh my gosh.
Because Zach and Screech spent an awkwardly long amount of time talking to him in the men's room. He shows Screech how to use the air dryer to dry his clothes, and he's kindly answering their naive, privileged high school preppy questions as he tries to shave.
Oh my gosh. Zach is kind of special in regards to pointing out people's struggles in life, like the episode where I guess the girl was in the wheelchair, and he just screams, "You're in a wheelchair?"
That's where my mind went also.
Yeah, like he's kind of a special kind of guy, and he says these things that I think most people now would be like shunned for, but back then it was kind of appropriate. But he even says like, well, I don't know, maybe that's not the right word, but it was kind of accepted if you were kind of an asshole. And Zach was definitely an asshole with a good heart, but he was still an asshole.
Right. Well,
but like he just screamed, "Screech! I think he's homeless, dude. He can hear you right there. I mean, he's right there. He's literally 2 feet away from you."
Get a load of the homeless guy, and Screech looks over. Don't look at him.
I mean, that half of that is sitcom volume, where they're really whispering, but we need to be able to hear them too. But. No, I exactly know what you're saying.
Right.
Zach's a naive kid. He hasn't met a homeless person before, so we'll later find out kind of how shook this makes him.
And he even acknowledges.
Yeah.
And he even acknowledges, he doesn't know too much about homelessness, which, okay, I can accept that because I do fully believe in, like, the Bayside. There's no way there's homeless people there. Like, they probably would have kicked him out of town to build, like, an Arby's or something.
He's so
or another Max.
It's like
I
the
don't know.
bathroom's bigger than the one in any house I've ever lived. So Zach, the noblest of gentlemen, leaves some money in one of the bathroom payphones for this homeless man to find. But yeah, the kids here are in shock. They've never been exposed to this cruel reality before. Do either of you remember the first time you encountered a homeless person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude. No. I was in D.C. because my mom worked for the government.
Okay.
And I mean, those were kind of, at a time where homelessness was I mean, obviously, it's still a huge problem now, but I remember my mom would get off the metro, and I'd be with her, and there'd be a lot of homeless people stationed. They kind of have their corners or their spots, whatever. So yeah, I totally remember.
Yeah.
We used to every year at Christmas time. We used to go over to Philadelphia. And Mike, do you remember the John Wanamaker Light Show?
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's still there. Which I still go to every year.
What is that?
At the it's a Macy's now. They actually filmed Mannequin there, but they have like a 4-story
that's
light
the
show.
building. Okay.
I remember we were there, and we were going through Philly, and I saw a guy sleeping on a grate, and I think that was that's the first one I can remember seeing. And also, Chad actually usually tells fake stories about his mom working, so I was kind of snickering a little, so I do apologize for that.
No, I heard. I knew that he was kind of chuckling at that, and I knew that he was kind of expecting me to kind of say something funny, but no, that part is legit true. My mom definitely worked at the with the U.S. government, right. So. But I knew I kind of had a feeling that as soon as I said that, you would start laughing.
No. I encountered my first homeless person in Baltimore while my family and I were having big fun, as one does in Baltimore. But we walked past a homeless guy, and I got so upset about it that I made my parents circle back so I can give him a donut.
Yep. Well,
you're a good guy.
Yeah.
Well, his full heart now focused elsewhere. Zach's quest ends as he finds Laura working with Kelly at the men's store and again asks her to lunch. And good on ex-girlfriend and future wife Kelly to vouch hard for him here.
Gosh. Like, she is full wingman mode here. Like, she is just... Wow.
Yeah.
And she's the one that cheated on Zach.
Yeah, this was the point where I had to stop and look up the Zach Morris and Kelly Kapowski relationship timeline, which doesn't exist as advertised on the internet, so here's the summary. They were dating at the beginning of season 3 until Kelly fell hard for Jeff, her boss at the Max, prompting a jealous Zach to start seeing other girls, most notably his boss at Malibu Sands, Stacy, a.k.a. the future Queen of Queens, Leah Remini.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
In-universe daughter of Ernie Sabella, the voice of Pumbaa from The Lion King.
Yay!
Later during Palm Springs weekend, Zach and Kelly try dating again, but it ends with them remaining friends, and clearly good enough friends that Kelly is very willing to help him win over Laura.
Never mind. That's some continuity that I get, that Kelly is especially in the Christmas spirit. She loves the season and she's all about giving, but
she even
I don't know, it kind of bothers me.
Okay. She even begins with "he's safe" and ends that in a joke, like you might want a security guard nearby, but that's something you don't hear women on TV and in pop culture say a lot, and we probably should hear it more often. This guy is safe. Let's all be safe, boys. Well, Laura considers lunch, but immediately loses her appetite after Zach spots the homeless man he helped before and quips that he hopes he spends the money on food and isn't, quote, a wino.
Oh.
Not alcohol, not drugs, wine. Homeless dude chugging a Boone's Farm from behind the scenes on Saved by the Bell.
Steve Martin at the beginning of The Jerk, essentially.
This.
And spend that $2 on the wine.
Another thing. Oh man, I really helped him out in the bathroom. Wait, you did what? Oh, I gave him money. I hope he doesn't spend it on booze. And that's another thing, is they use the word wino, and like on a Saturday morning kids show. I get that the main audience, or the main target audience, was like teens, and they would have known that term. But like as a kid, there's no way I knew what a wino was. I got to be honest.
Absolutely not. But I don't know. I think it's just to our point that Zach is a very sheltered kid, so he knows what a wino is because he's probably encountered other adults or other parents. The country club crowd. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Cut to the food court, where if Zach's relentless determination to go out with Laura isn't enough, here comes Screech up to Lisa wearing a beanie with dangling mistletoe.
Oh, Screech. No.
We just talked about safe boys. Screech at least doesn't chase Lisa when she gets up out of there, so hooray, you're not setting the worst example. Horn dogs though they may be, they are legally children.
Yep.
Kelly and Laura arrive on their lunch break, and finally, at their encouragement, Laura agrees to a lunch date in which she eats all of Zach's chips and his burger and ice cream, all to which Zach is happy to oblige, but because he's making a girl happy, but... Then he convinces Laura to go tell the mall Santa what she wants for Christmas because Zach is that kind of romantic. Y'all ever do that in a date?
Oh yeah. Oh, all the time. Oh, every girl I've ever been with. Yeah, that always works.
Nope.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. It's the most 1991 fake TV date.
Yay.
And this whole episode is the most 1991 thing ever.
But Jesse agrees to let them cut in front of a line of waiting children since Laura's lunch break is almost over. And here's where the plot thickens. Because when Santa asks what Laura wants for Christmas, she whispers something in his ear that clearly catches Santa of all people off guard. He says, no one's ever asked me that before, but I'll try. And Santa signals to Jesse not to charge Laura for the photo, so...
Okay, this is where I gotta cut in.
Okay.
I gotta cut in and say this. Why is it up to her to pay for this photo with Santa when it's Zach's idea?
That's a good point. I'm sure Zach was reaching for his wallet. Well, no, Zach was the one who asked how much do we owe you, so... He's ready. He's ready with his wallet.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But Santa decided no charge, so those of us not blessed with the hindsight of already knowing where this is going are left to wonder what's up. And speaking of already knowing where this is going, we find our homeless friend at the gift wrapping station, alleviating Slater of the task of wrapping Lisa's gift for the kids at the hospital. I don't think we mentioned that. She's gotten all her friends to agree to buy a gift for a sick kid because Lisa is the best human on the show.
Well, say they're all. I think this is essentially
relatively
all their
speaking.
characteristics. All their characteristics could be kind of summed up as a very PG version of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. To be fair.
Wow, you're not wrong.
Nope.
Screech is definitely the Charlie.
Oh, no. I would say he's the Cricket.
Oh.
The gang saved Christmas.
The gang saves Christmas.
Homeless dude just
the
wants
gang
to
saves the... Oh, my gosh.
Go ahead.
You know what I just realized?
What's
This episode combines two Always Sunny in Philadelphia episodes. The gang saves Christmas and the gang solves the homeless problem.
Wow. See that?
Oh my gosh.
Decades ahead of its time.
And you guys are both from Philadelphia. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting.
But Zach is definitely the dentist.
Okay, I'm done.
Homeless dude just wants scraps of paper Slater was going to throw out, but Slater instead gives him an unopened roll of wrapping paper because it's better in this stranger's hands than his own.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Did he give him money?
No, because he didn't ask for it, and Slater's too... he doesn't realize he's homeless.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, not until Zach comes up, because we kind of see the man stagger out of the store, and seconds later we find him passed out on the mall floor with a bunch of grown-ups just gathered around staring at him. It takes 3 male juvenile heroes to actually do something about getting help. Grown-ups are just standing around like, hey, there's a guy lying on the floor.
Oh.
It's Screech who calls 911 after asking what the number was, but
yeah.
While trained lifeguard Slater resuscitates him using a mouth guard, guys, I think this is the first and only time I've seen a mouth guard used in the old resuscitation trope in any medium outside of a CPR training video.
Really?
Yes.
Why don't we see more mouth guards?
Well,
not as dramatic, probably.
To be fair.
Okay.
Yeah. To be fair, not everyone carries around a mouth guard. Slater's a wrestler, so I mean he has to have a mouth guard with him at all times.
There was an EMT there who was like, "Give me that mouth guard."
Oh, I thought you meant Slater. Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense because technically, if you're CPR certified, you know that you're technically supposed to use those.
Right.
But here's the issue I take.
Okay.
This could have been a really cool scene that they could have ended the episode on if they had kind of pushed it back, and they would have been able to leave it a cliffhanger. But they decided to kind of make it a little bit of a joke when they included Screech saying, "Well, what's the number for 911?" It was just like,
Screech got a screech.
I can't. I know, but if it were up to me, Screech would have been the one that passed out on the floor, and everyone would have just left him.
No.
Although we wouldn't have had that great season of Celebrity Fit Club.
Oh dear. Oh man.
You gotta challenge Harvey. How dare you, Dustin?
I don't know if you heard me, but the what's the number for 911 joke is one of my least favorite sitcom jokes.
Yeah, it keeps coming up. I think The Simpsons, right around the same time, did the same joke.
Hello, operator. Give me the number for 911.
What episode?
I don't remember. I'm not that guy.
Oh, it was the babysitter episode.
Wrong.
We cut to Laura on the job, correctly identified by Kelly as daydreaming about Zach.
Dear.
Look, we know Zach and Kelly are going to end up married, but she is really going to bat for him again here. Have either of you had an ex-girlfriend be your wing woman like this?
No.
Nope.
Oh, gosh, no. I've had exes try and sabotage my relationships.
Oh, no.
Like, oh, gosh. Oh, yes. Well, no, wait a minute. I should take that back. My high school girlfriend, she went to bat with one girl for me. So, yes. I mean, in that case, but it was like in high school, so,
Okay. Well, my last serious ex-girlfriend before I started dating my wife was one of the many who told me, dude, you two need to date. Make it happen. So we're still buds. Shout out to Emma.
Yeah.
Hi,
Emma.
But here in our story is when we meet men's store owner and operator Mr. Moody, played by another character actor named Lou Horn. Only other thing I recognize him from on his IMDb is he was some random cop in the Dick Tracy movie. And he was on an episode of Growing Pains where Maggie takes a turn as a news journalist. But
was he like the head of the station?
I
and he
think
was like
so. He was Mr.
kind of
Stewart.
bumbling.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I can already picture him doing this on that show. I can already picture it.
He looks exactly the same as he does in this. No different. But
I believe it.
And apparently he returned as this same mall men's store owner in an episode of Saved by the Bell, The New Class. So
no, he did not.
It's there, man.
Oh dear.
I'm not saying I've seen this episode because I have not seen one episode of Saved by the Bell, The New Class, but it's on IMDb.
Yeah, neither is anyone else.
But Moody catches Laura daydreaming, and Kelly defends her, saying they were just talking about the picture she got with Santa Claus, and Moody, acting like he barely knows about Santa Claus, quips, the fat man in the red suit? He needs to cut down on his cholesterol. Oh, a cholesterol joke to remind us it's 1991. Because that was the put this on every box health buzzword of the time.
It's true, it was.
Yeah.
And then it was trans fats, and then it was gluten, and no high fructose corn syrup.
Mm-hmm.
Which I had to look for today when I was at Publix.
Oh, yay, Publix.
So, I skipped the part where Laura met Zach's mom, who invited her to be part of the Christmas Carol play, but Laura wasn't sure she could get the time off from her brand new job, and Moody confirms her suspicions, loudly and impatiently adding, just because it's Christmas, everyone expects me to be generous. We'll get to more Moody later, but
yep.
For now it's quitting time to go to the hospital to give those presents to the kids, and oh yeah, also check on that homeless guy, about whom a suddenly worried Laura asks if he's okay, but it's played off like everyone else, just a good-hearted teenager concerned for the well-being of her fellow humans. Speaking of the well-being of fellow humans, we cut to the hospital where Lisa helps adorable footy pajamas-wearing sick kid put a star on top of the Children's Ward Christmas tree, and herald the arrival of Santa Zach.
Oh!
Slater should have been Santa. He's got some muscle on him at least.
Didn't he wear a sleeveless thing in this?
He did. He's a sleeveless elf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's content with being an elf along with Jessie, who's really B-teaming it in this story.
She really is.
Poor Jessie. But you have Kelly as Mrs. Claus and Screech as Rudolph, who asks Lisa if she wants to play any reindeer games.
Oh.
And that's the line that makes Lisa's tolerance level grow 3 sizes and give him a kiss on the cheeks.
Oh, what?
We get more Slater. Whoa, hey, now I'm 16 again. We get more Slater as bad at gift wrapping jokes from the uncredited sick kid, but Santa Zach magically makes it snow from the hospital's 8-foot-high ceilings. It's a Christmas miracle.
Yay.
Yay.
Followed by another Christmas miracle, the discovery that Laura is at the hospital visiting our homeless friend, her father.
What?
Stunned Santa-dressed Zach and his friends are superimposed by the words, "to be continued." Which, unlike the initial airing of this, we're continuing right now. We reopen with the quick clip recap of last week, courtesy of Fourth Wall Destroyer Zach. I don't remember the last time, in continuity, that we got a timeout, but this is as close as we're getting. It's like, hey, I saw you.
Did he lose those powers at some point?
When he got married?
No, because he's used them on Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
Oh, when he got
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Then we return to the hospital bedside of Laura's homeless father, to whom we are now introduced as Frank Benton. He thanks Zack Slater and Screech for saving his life. Well, Frank's fine and explains the doctor told him he needed to do something about his diet, namely eat. And that's when Zack insists on inviting him and Laura to his house for a proper meal. He's really shook by this whole homeless thing, so he's getting his parents involved.
He really is.
And I remember having that feeling in Baltimore when I saw the homeless thing. It's Zack's a lot older than I was then, so he's actually getting on his parents to do something about it. Well, his dad's somewhere, away on some business trip this entire time. But Frank, ever patient, kindly answers Zack's questions about how he and Laura ended up homeless. He was laid off, couldn't pay rent, and they moved to California hoping to find work, but only found a warmer place to be homeless. Which, can't argue there. I know I thought, if I'm ever homeless, I'm traveling the country.
That's the best way to do it, to be somewhere warm.
That's true. That's true.
Back to the mall again, where it's Christmas Eve. And while Zack's helping his mom set up for the play, Laura wants to buy a suit jacket for her dad to wear for job interviews. But she'd need an advance on her pay to afford it, and Moody is not having it. Even after Kelly explains, or should I say, especially after she explains that Laura's homeless. Because we see Moody quietly tell her, if he'd have known that, he wouldn't have hired her, because, quote, people like her steal. How lovely.
Uh-oh.
You know, this turns into one of my favorite things ever in Saved by the Bell history. It really does.
Oh?
It's just he starts becoming a bigger asshole and just a complete, just miserable. I apologize. I shouldn't be cursing on the show, but he becomes quite the villain on this show. And earlier I was gonna, kind of bring up the point that he kind of serves as the Belding in this episode, but Belding isn't this, insane and this much of a grouch.
Right.
He serves as the Scrooge. We're gonna get to this Christmas Carol play.
Yeah. Let's get to that first.
Enter Zack in his Bob Cratchit onesie jumpsuit. It's something. But he promises Moody if Laura's in the Christmas Carol play, Moody's business for the day will double. And that puts a smile on the old man's face, and he allows it.
Oh boy, I'm gonna make funny.
Which gives Laura 20 minutes to learn her parts, and Zack with the same amount of time to make some changes to the script, to which his mom very reluctantly agrees, since Zack claims it was the only way to get Laura in the play. But As they head to the stage, Kelly takes the suit jacket Laura wanted and has a coworker hold it so she can buy it for Laura later. This won't backfire at all.
No, not at all.
Kelly is really the MVP of this whole thing, helping everyone get what or who they want for Christmas.
She's the MVP of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. But that's for a lot of different reasons.
She's the best human on the show. Sorry,
Yeah.
Lisa. You're the runner-up now.
She is, but I'm sorry. It still bothers me that, she kind of let Jeff kind of make out with her. So that kind
She's
of
atoning for that now.
I know, but it's still like when I watch that episode.
She atoned for that during the Palm Springs, and so, yeah. Look, people make mistakes.
But it still just bothers me.
All right.
I get that, but shoot, come on. She's human, whatever, and she's absolutely gorgeous. So okay, she gets a pass.
Ta-da. Well, the play happens, and the changes to the script can basically be summed up as Scrooge not only needs a change of heart, but a change of style as they work in 3 ads. For the well-dressed miser, the only place to shop is Moody's Store for Men at the Bayside Mall. That's fine. They're already doing a play at the mall, so I've come to learn to expect a certain level of quality from that.
You get what you pay for.
So Moody's is obviously supposed to be like a local kind of Macy's, right? Or is it just kind of like a boutique kind of store?
It looks like the world's tiniest men's warehouse.
I was going to say Men's Warehouse.
You're gonna like the way you look.
Okay, thank you. Okay, fair enough.
But yeah.
Okay, good enough.
Can we talk about Laura crushing it as the Ghost of Christmas Present and having the only good English accent?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh my gosh. For someone with only 20 minutes to go?
Like, even Zach's mother.
Oh my god. Yeah, and Zach's mom, so in the play, Zach is playing Bob Cratchit, and is Zach's mother playing Bob Cratchit's wife?
Yep.
Yeah, we only saw a little bit of that play. This is some serious Back to the Future stuff. Like, this is some serious Lorraine and Marty stuff, which I know. I think you guys are fans of that movie, right? I think.
A little bit.
Maybe.
Happy Back to the Future Day.
Oh.
Yes, thank you, Mike. You didn't let me. But yeah, Laura had the best. For 20 minutes, she was a natural. Wow.
She was a natural and had the only good English accent.
Mm-hmm.
Even Zach's mother's like, she went the Cockney way, and then everybody else kind of... And Lisa was just, forget it. Lisa being Lisa as the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Because
No,
it
me
worked.
too.
They made it work. But well, Laura goes back to work to find the jacket she wanted to buy gone, and since it's supposed to be a secret to everybody, she's told someone else bought it. But then Moody also returns, sees Laura next to the now missing jacket, and immediately accuses her of stealing, down to checking the day's receipts.
The poor girl stole it.
He gets security on the phone, and this is the most teen sitcom on a Saturday morning in 1991 level of corny joke. This is Melvin Moody, and I'm in a bad moody.
Can you add bad canned laughter to when you say that, by the way?
I'll see if I can find some. But Laura runs for it shortly before Kelly returns to buy that jacket, and Moody realizes his mistake. But that leaves Laura running wherever it was she ran off to, so everyone starts scouring the mall looking for her. Everyone. I say everyone. No, just our 6 heroes start scouring the mall looking for her. Because they are good friends.
Yeah, but she's homeless. She doesn't really have anywhere else to run to. So, I mean...
So she just runs.
Well, I mean, but someone should have been able to see her running around crying.
And you see a lot of that. You see, this person said you saw her over here, so...
True.
And to that point, as night falls, we finally have an appearance of a mobile device so legendary, we as a culture have come to know it as the Zach Morris phone.
Yay.
This is how they're all keeping in touch.
This is... People people who weren't around back then, I don't think they understand just how big of a deal this damn phone was.
I didn't understand at the time. I thought it was just a plain cordless phone, completely oblivious to the fact that, he's outside of his house using it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was insane to us.
Did you guys ever see?
Gosh.
Did you guys ever see Freddy Got Fingered with Tom Green?
Yeah.
Remember that scene where he's on a day? He's like, I have to take this important call. And it was the cordless phone from the house, and the antenna was 4 feet long, and he's talking on it.
Yes.
And the date believes him.
Yeah, well. That movie so
I don't remember that scene.
I'm surprised I do. I just remember the big antenna, and that was the only funny part of the whole thing.
I love that giant antenna, by the way. It's so corny. It's so ridiculous.
It's the telescoping one, too.
It is.
Zach and his mom stop at a very busy Christmas tree lot on Christmas Eve. Y'all, do you know anyone who still waits till Christmas Eve to get a tree?
Maybe for next year.
No, I don't.
No, not decorate. Because I know there are some people somewhere who still wait to decorate their trees until Christmas Eve, which is becoming a rare move. I'm talking about choosing and purchasing a tree on Christmas Eve night.
We used to decorate, when I was a kid, we used to decorate our tree on Christmas Eve. Then it got to be too big and too much. So we did it at the beginning of the month.
I remember very, very young, my parents would decorate it on Christmas Eve. But there are people here, including Zach's mother, buying their tree hours before Christmas starts, which blew my mind. But
yeah, that's a little much for me, just because, I mean, my family always had a phony tree. Like, I've never had a real tree a day in my life, which I'm okay with. But the fact is, my tree has always been up, well into November. So, for me, that one's a little hard to swallow.
Yeah, now that I have to have an artificial tree in my house because my wife is allergic to every real tree. So that goes up Black Friday every year. Or at least at some point the week of Thanksgiving. Nice. But Black Friday is when we decorate, and when we'll put Elf on the TV, and the kids help us decorate, and that's what happens. But
yeah, we put ours up usually the first weekend of December.
Yeah,
smooth move.
I'm not really sure when the shift went from people decorate on Christmas Eve to most people don't. I guess as trees become more and more artificial and more people are using them, they're just, we might as well put it out with all the other decorations.
Well, I guess.
Sure, why not?
But as a Christmas miracle would have it, Laura is in that very lot with her dad, who's told to move his car so people can park and get their trees on Christmas Eve. Frank happily obliges because he is the world's kindest homeless man. Only he can't get the car to start. Well, Zach and his mom find him trying to get it going and realize they've been living out of their car.
Aha!
Plot thickens.
Yeah.
I'd expect nothing less from a homeless person.
Oh, dear.
I feel like Screech would have said that, too.
Well, Mama Morris insists they come back to her place for dinner, as a car is no place to spend Christmas Eve. Also spending Christmas Eve dinner at Zach's house is all of his other friends, whose own families can wait, I guess.
Yeah,
They're all there. Why aren't you all home with your families? We gotta look out for our new friend Laura. They're kind humans.
Who, by the way,
tonight. Yes.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, because you're getting the sense, man, they're grooming her to be like the next member of the crew. You know, they'll have like a fail-safe in case someone in the cast wants to leave. You know, they've got someone new that they can, add, to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense that the entire crew is starting to gravitate towards her and her dad. We've got because the dad's kind of funny. He's kind of dry. It would work well.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense. They all want to be around the new person. I mean, they're good if it's Christmas Eve. They're gonna go see their family, and I'm sure their families. We've seen the rest of the families. Well, maybe not Jesse. I don't think we ever saw Jesse's dad or mom.
Yeah, that's what Palm 3 was. Jesse's dad got remarried.
Oh gosh, you're right. Okay, that's right. I see. I put those episodes out of my mind, but I feel like these, they're the families are good enough people to understand. They were trying to help someone.
Yeah,
so.
They were probably going to, if they had her as a new member of the show, odds are they would have probably lived with the Morse family, and they probably would have said that was too much like Full House, so they axed it.
Didn't think of that.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe all their parents have important business on Christmas Eve like Zach's dad. I know 2 of them own hotels. One's a surgeon. It's plausible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Slater's dad, I believe, was in the military.
I think
so.
Yeah, that's right.
Was his mom? No, his mom wasn't in the military, was she?
I don't
think so.
Okay.
But Kelly actually arrives a little later and apologizes to Laura that Mr. Moody still wouldn't let her buy the jacket. Wait for it.
Oh.
Because he wanted to give it to you himself.
What?
He's a changed man. Moody's the Scrooge of this episode, boys. He apologizes for misjudging Laura and tells her she is welcome back to work after Christmas.
Interesting.
And Frank is looking good in his new jacket.
Oh, very dapper.
Yes.
Good-looking guy.
But the surprises don't stop there because Zach, who I'm discovering more and more, got really, really disturbed by this whole homeless thing, called his dad and asked if Laura and her dad could stay with them until Frank gets back on his feet. I don't know how long Zach's dad's going to be away, but Frank is worried they might wear out their welcome, and in comes Zach's mom with the great line, "Don't worry, Zach wore out his welcome a long time ago, and he's still here."
Oh,
Mom, he's still in high
serious
school.
Mom jokes. Serious mom jokes.
I'm kind of bummed we don't see more of her later on, but whatever.
Yeah, that never made sense.
Well,
but I mean, the show is about the kids.
Yeah,
so,
and it's mostly set in school and at the Max. This is the exception to the rule, so of course we're going to see more of some parental figure.
Right.
Okay. So, side note.
Building. Yes.
Yeah. So, side note. Do you guys ever remember an episode where we saw the parents in the Max?
I'm probably making it up that I saw.
It could have happened.
Yeah, it could have.
But I can't think.
I mean, yeah, I can't think of them off the top of my head. And I pride myself on being like the world's biggest Saved by the Bell fan, but for the life of me, I can't picture any of the parents. No, you know what? Maybe Slater, for some reason, Slater's dad stands out, but
maybe his. If anyone's.
I don't know.
Wait, I think the dad was in there. Was it the episode where Zach faked saying Slater was going to move to Hawaii or something because he was dying? Is that why?
Could be that episode.
Wait, what?
Maybe, or maybe it was when Slater was going to be like shipped off to military or school or something.
No, it could be.
Oh gosh, this is going to kill me. Because the Max was essentially like a, this was the kids' zone. Let's be fair. Was, look, I mean, do you think that there was an unwritten agreement with the adults? Like, look, we'll go here, we'll behave, just don't come bother us,
A lot of shows with a group of characters around this age had to have that meeting place where they eat and hang out.
Yeah.
Like the Peach Pit, or the Peach Pit, right?
The Peach Pit.
Mm-hmm. The Peach Pit, perfect.
Happy Days, the Angel Grove Juice Bar.
Oh. Chubby's in Boy Meets World, which has been covered multiple times on TPIF.
I wanted Chubby's to really exist.
Okay, there was actually for a long time there was a real Chubby's in a town outside of Baltimore.
Really?
What was it called? It was I'm forgetting the name of it, but there was a Chubby's there. I don't know if it's still there, but it was like a little like bar kind of restaurant where they would like show UFC and like sporting events.
Oh, okay.
So I've seen an actual Chubby's, but again, I don't know if it's still there.
Couldn't tell you. Well, and of course, Laura gives the old line, "I don't know how I can ever thank you," to which Zach replies, "How about a kiss to start?" Right in front of both of their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, young Laura. Christmas Eve. And
That's probably why we never saw him, man. Her dad probably didn't want her hanging out with Zach.
yeah, and they were never seen again.
Nope.
So, congrats to Frank for the job he apparently quickly got, thanks to the jacket.
I was going to say, do you think... Now, we never saw him again.
Right.
And we also never saw Moody's store in the original series. So I'm putting 2 and 2 together. What if Laura established such a good relationship with Mr. Moody that he took Frank on as like a custodian or like someone who cleaned or whatever. And they were kind of out of there, within like 2 or 3 weeks, whatever the next episode aired.
Perhaps. Yeah, because the next one after this is that Mystery Weekend one, and Laura's not there.
No. And they do go back to the mall for the mall episode later on, but they don't show Moody's. They kind of just stick around everywhere else. So that's my guess. That's my guess completely.
I like that theory.
Is that they both work with Moody's? Yeah.
Headcanon accepted.
Okay. Thank you.
Or perhaps Frank's a house musician somewhere because his gift of thanks to the whole gang is to close out our show with a verse of Silent Night on the piano.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I wonder if that comes with a gift receipt. I'm kidding. He did a lovely job.
Yes. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
I think when it comes to Saved by the Bell, this borders on both being a holiday episode and a very special episode.
Oh,
because it's they fulfill the hey, here's our Christmas episode, and also it deals with the homeless.
We're gonna make you feel your feelings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there we go, and also with no belting, I think they try to make Zach be the voice of reason, which kind of succeeded, but also kind of didn't because he was still Zach.
Zach's got a Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are
Zach attack was.
Those are my thoughts.
And you know what? I didn't think of the point that Tommy just raised that they're trying to make Zach kind of the voice of reason. That's a pretty good, solid point. I like that. This is one of my favorite Saved by the Bell episodes, as I mentioned, just because it's so in your face with like, oh gosh, he's homeless. Oh my goodness, we have to save him, and we have to do this, and oh, we got him a job, and all the minor plots that they have going on, they are just incredible to me. It's been stuffed with so much nonsense, and it's just so incredible. I love this episode for all of the silliness.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. It's the one that I think this might be the one episode. These might be the 2 episodes that stick out to me the most.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I love that Mystery Weekend one, but this is the one when I think of Saved by the Bell and I think back at it.
Mm-hmm.
Even like none of the ones when they're in school and with Belding, for some reason I keep going back to this one just because of how different it was. This one is a standout pair of episodes. And it wasn't even the season finale, but again, it was right around Christmas time when they did end that season. So
right.
we got to do this. And I'm glad they did.
You know why? I think I'm just going to take a quick stab. I think when, certain episodes in the school were kind of basic, Zach's trying to get out of doing homework or whatever. And so this was this had a little bit more heart. This had a different location. We didn't see them at the Max. We didn't see them at school. So It was definitely one that stood out. So I can definitely see why it would stand out to you. And I'm totally on board with that.
Could be. That must be it. Well, if people want to approach you in a dangling mistletoe beanie, where can they find you, Tom?
You can find me on Twitter at Classic Tomedy.
I love that name.
Thank you.
And Chad.
I can't. Whenever Tommy says that out loud, it just makes me just die laughing, by the way. You know what? You can find me at horrormoviebarbecue.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And, you can also find Tommy and I on past episodes of Thank Pod It's Funny with our fantastic leader, who I think it's safe to say is our leader, Derek Boyer. We are working on a new season. Okay. We're going to get to that as whenever we can. We've all got some stuff going on, but we're working on trying to get it back. And honestly, I would dare say that Derek is like I said, Derek's the leader of the show, but Tommy is the MVP of that show. He is the Kelly Kapowski of TPIF.
There you go.
I'm both the Slater and the Slater of this episode.
Yes,
the Kelly of that show. I love it. I'll accept it.
Perfect. And you know what I just thought of to pull a Zach move and put myself over. Before we recorded this episode, I had forgotten that I had written about this episode over at Shit Movie Fest for Shitmas. I think it was either 2012 or 2013. And it's one of my favorite things I've ever done on the internet. So
I have to go find this now and link to it. So look for this in the show notes, kids. Guys, this was a fun one. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So for TC Slater, Tommy Coombs, and Chad Screech Young, from the worst mall performance I've ever seen, take care of each other this Christmas. And watch out for that icy patch. The Advent Calendar House is part of the Christmas Podcast Network. To find more shows like this one, visit ChristmasPodcastNetwork.com.
Do you love fun?
Do you love movies?
Do you love TV shows?
Do you love informative entertainment?
But most of all,
do you love Christmas? Then look no further, because we've got you covered.
It's a 90s Christmas podcast is all about the most joyful and triumphant holiday and all its media. But only as far as the 90s are concerned.
That's right, our show not only is about the cheeriest time of the year, but also the cheesiest decade in world history. If that isn't an ideal combination, I don't know what is.
Every week we will cover a movie, 2 sitcom episodes, and a Christmas special, as long as they came out between 1990 and 2002.
You can find us on iTunes, Podomatic.com, Stitcher.com, and Spotify.
I am Lyle Perez from America.
I am Lasse Vogt from Germany.
And It's a 90s Christmas podcast, offering perspectives from 2 different parts of the world, is waiting for you.
Have fun, and no matter where you are or when you listen to this,
a very Merry Christmas.
Next time on the Advent Calendar House.
Hi-ho, this is Kermit the Frog, and I'm here to tell you the story about Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Monday at 8, 7 Central, a special holiday treat for the whole family when Jim Henson's Marvelous Muppets bring Christmas to Frogtown Hollow in Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Tonight.